Atlanta News First Plus starts now with the First Alert Weather Day.
First Alert meteorologist JD Dishroon here, and we're seeing a little bit of a break in the action for most of us when it comes to the rainfall that's been rolling through the area. Still, though, as we zoom in just a bit, I want to show you this little cell over in Paulding County is finally starting to dissipate. We've been watching it really kind of just really not move over the past hour and a half, and it's been giving some, very heavy rainfall totals in that area. The other area we're concerned about is going to be down here into Lamar County. Notice between Milner, Barnesville, and over into Forsyth and Monroe County, this particular band of very heavy rain has not moved at all. And we're starting to see the rain totals in this area add up. So I want to go ahead and show you just how much rain that the radar is estimating that we're getting. And let me turn the loop off real quick. There we go. And then we can kind of query what's going on here, because it is a significant amount of rain in just a short amount of time. In fact, some of these areas have seen over 2 inches of rain in just the last 3 hours. So really the narrow part of the band here, 2.5, maybe 3 inches of rain. So a lot of heavy rain has fallen here. So, seeing ponding of roadways, especially on I-75 and over towards the US 41. So if you're going to be driving in those areas, just do please be careful if you're going to be in those particular areas. Otherwise, we're getting to a break in the moisture. And I think that's what most of us are excited to see as we go into really the evening hours after such a rainy morning, and particularly into the overnight hours as well. Unfortunately, though, it does look like we're going to be seeing more of those showers return to the forecast as we head on into tomorrow. So what we're going to be looking at is the potential for some very heavy rain and widespread rain at that as we go through your Monday. So we do have a flood watch in effect for your Monday. I would be shocked if it wasn't extended, maybe even expanded an area into your Tuesday. And I think by Wednesday, we finally start to pull the rain chances back a bit, and then we'll see those temperatures climb back up into the lower 80s. So I want to show you that flood watch that we're dealing with right now. It's really about the western 2/3 of our viewing area. So does not include Blairsville, but it does include Ellijay. So Ellijay down to Dahlonega, over in towards Lawrenceville, and to Eatonton and farther points to the west. So it does include the metro Atlanta area, includes all of our western counties, all of our southern counties. It's really just the eastern counties that are not affected by this. This is where we could see another 2 to 4 inches of rain just through tomorrow. That's not even including Tuesday's rainfall. So the ground's already saturated, and we're going to continue to watch and see just, more rain coming through, making the rainfall, unfortunately, add up. And that's when flooding can come involved. Trees could start to come down. You don't need as much wind when the soil is saturated when you're dealing with some of these windy conditions that we have been seeing. In fact, we have gotten some reports of trees down, causing some power outages. I'm trying to pull that up right now. That's why you see me kind of stalling just a bit. So we do have a little bit of power outages out there. Notice in the metro, it's not a lot of them, but, it's still inconvenient for those of you who are having to deal with it. But look at how much rain we've had in just the last 2 days. So this is an insane amount of rain for a lot of folks just over the last few days. Unfortunately, we did have one fatality earlier in Cleburne County, Alabama. A car got swept away, and not hard to see why. Over 8 inches of rain in just the last 2 days is estimated by Rainfall. In West Floyd County, where we had that flash flood warning last night, 5 to 6 inches of rain have fallen. We had a flood warning in Newton County this morning. They've picked up over 7 inches of rain in just the last 2 days. And even in the eastern metro, we've seen widespread amounts of 2 to 3 inches of rain. And then down near Noonan, over 4 inches of rain, almost 5 inches of rain in these areas. So it's not hard to see why we're dealing with, the potential for flooding. With another 2 to 4 inches of rain on top of that, that's what's kind of, scary about it, is that we are still expecting more rain to move on through all this. Now, in addition to the rainfall, it kept our temperatures cool today. So cool. In fact, we only topped out at 74 degrees. That was 10 minutes right after midnight, and it's been downhill ever since. Our low so far is looking at 67. Now, how unusual is this? Very unusual. So we keep track of record highs and we keep track of record lows, but we also keep track of what we call, record minimum highs. So what that means is on today, August 3rd, the lowest high temperature we've ever had was 73. If we didn't hit 74 for 10 minutes after midnight, we would have tied that. That's how unusual this. It would have tied the record for the coolest high temperature on this day. And tomorrow, I'm pretty sure we're going to break that record. Tomorrow's high is 70. Again, the record minimum high temperature tomorrow is 73. So it's not going to be hard to get that. Now, by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're warming up too much to break those records. They're still well below average, but, they're also not record-breaking. So taking a live look outside, it's 67 degrees. I stepped outside earlier today and thought, you know what? I actually need pants today. Not shorts. I don't know when the last August is I've said that. So it's a very cool day out there. And we've already picked up 1 1/3 of an inch of rain in the last 24 hours, and more is expected again as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures will hold fairly steady. Notice it has us maybe at 70 and 69 by the time we get to 9 and midnight. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to stick right at 67, maybe dip to 66 as we head into tomorrow morning. And then temperatures overall are going to be in the low 60s across North Georgia. I think Atlanta's going to be a little warmer. Typically we are. Maybe some mid-60s in Gainesville and Athens, but for the most part, low 60s to wake up for your Monday. And Monday is the first day of school for a lot of people. Georgia's 4 largest school districts are going back to school tomorrow. It's going to be a wet morning at the bus stop. Showers already in place off and on as the kiddos are heading off to school. We're going to notice that morning commute is going to be a little bit wet as well. And it only gets heavier and more numerous as we head into the afternoon. So by 1 o'clock, look at this, widespread, heavy downpours across the area, continuing to get worse as we head through 6 p.m. Tomorrow's commute in the evening could be an absolute nightmare, just due to due to the fact that we have a lot of rain, and the rain that will be coming down is going to be heavy. So that's also going to, once again, that's why we have that flood watch in effect, is because of all this moisture that's going to be rolling on through. So let's go ahead and show you just how much rain we could potentially see. Again, this is just through tomorrow. No, I take that back. This rain is through Tuesday. So this is for the whole event, and this is another reason why I think we're going to be seeing the flood watch expanded and extended. So expanded in area off to the east and extended in time. Notice widespread amounts of 1 to 3 inches of rain. This is the HER model. It's one of our high resolutions. In fact, it stands for High Resolution Rapid Refresh. It's been pretty accurate for this particular system. So that's why I'm kind of showing it to you. And I'm not saying that Helen's going to see 3.1, Atlanta's going to see 1.5, Cedartown's going to see 0.8. What this is showing us is overall the pattern. Wherever the heavy rain band sets up, 3 to 4 inches of rain is going to be falling. Everybody has the chance to see widespread amounts of 1 to 3 inches. So it's going to be a deluge, for lack of a better term, as we head into your Monday and also into your Tuesday, as well as cool. I didn't want to pull the trigger on a 69 high. I think that's just because it's so far below the record minimum for this time of year. But we may not even get out of the 60s in Atlanta. I don't think the suburbs are going to get out of the 60s. I don't think the North Georgia mountains are getting out of the 60s. So it's going to be just a cool, dreary, gloomy, wet day. And Tuesday, maybe a little better in terms of temperatures, low to mid 70s, but more rain. In fact, higher rain chances arrive as we head into your Tuesday. So our average high this time of year is a 90-degree mark. Still in the 90s for that average for this time of year. And we're going to continue to watch the fact that temperatures are going to trend well below this. Now, right now, we're looking at 20 degrees below average for Monday, 15 degrees below average for Tuesday, 10 degrees below average for Wednesday, and then 5 degrees below average for Thursday. But then it kind of settles back off. So I think even as we head into next weekend and we get back into the upper 80s, we're still going to be trending just a few degrees below those average highs for this time of year. The morning lows are going to be fairly right on par. Our morning lows this time of year, about 71, 72 degrees here in Atlanta. We're going to be right around the upper 60s, lower 70s. But notice after Tuesday, the rain really drops off. It's still there. Any other time of the week, we would say this is elevated, just not when you compare it to 80 to 90%. So, 40% Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and spoiler alert, Saturday, Sunday. So we're still going to stay in somewhat of a wet pattern. We're still staying in a somewhat cooler pattern. I think we're just in the height of both of those as we head through the first 2 days of the week. So here's what you can expect for your Monday. Let's go ahead and time out that moisture for you. Again, numerous showers as we go through the morning into the afternoon. It will be heavy at times, and it will continue to increase and push through. I don't think it's going to be until midnight that we're going to see these showers finally start to pull back up into the Carolinas. But even though they're doing that, we still have the potential for more rain into your Tuesday. So let's time that out for you, because Tuesday also the first day of school for a lot of children across Georgia. So again, in the morning hours, bus stop could be wet depending on where this rain band sets up, and will continue through the noon hour And then by 3 o'clock, we finally start to see the moisture pull out, and I think it'll start pulling out for good at this point. But still some isolated showers possible overnight and on into your Wednesday. So Wednesday, again, 80 degrees, a little warmer. We're going to be looking at a 40% chance of showers, 84 and a 40% chance of showers on Thursday, and really the same thing for your Friday. Friday is our next Braves on Gray Day, so if you're going to be heading out to Truist Park, the high is in the 80s, game time is going to be in the 70s, and you're still going to be dodging those showers out there, so maybe a poncho. But otherwise, I'd say go out and enjoy it, because if we can manage to dodge the rain, guess what? It's rare you get to see baseball in the 70s in August, so I think you should take advantage of that. Now, by Saturday and Sunday, temperatures continue to warm, 85 Saturday, and look at Sunday, 88, real close to average, and notice we put that lightning icon back on there. I think we're going to slowly start to see with the warmer air moving in, the chance for thunderstorms to be the norm instead of just rain like we're going to see for the next several days. So overall, just a very wet weather pattern as we make our way into the next several days. So, I hope you have a wonderful evening out there. We're going to continue to watch this as we head into the overnight hours. I'm going to be back on air for folks over into the Peachtree TV. So if you're going to be watching Peachtree TV, I'm there at 10. I'll be on air at Atlanta News First at 11. And then tomorrow morning, Ella, Rodney, and Courtney are all going to be here on air, online, and on the app, because they're not only going to be tracking the rain, they're going to be tracking the traffic that always comes when the rain moves in. So other than that, have a wonderful evening and try and stay dry.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.